Hi, YouTubers! Hi, YouTubers! Hi, YouTubers! Hi, YouTubers!
Oh, they got bombarded today.
So, Sky, what's going on in Sins the Makers?
That's a great question.
He's gonna blow your computer up one of these days.
I don't know. What's going on? Oh, yeah, there's that. Shit. Apparently, I need to do a summary every week, because holy crap, dude.
Yours is so much more detailed than mine. And I don't feel like an idiot because I'm not hemming and hawing and you're just telling a story.
Yeah, if I can remember. Um, we walked. We walked. We stepped on things, but not on each other. We walked. We walked. We walked. We walked, and then we camped. Did we do other things? I feel like we did other things. I don't know. But eventually we walked and we walked, and then we got somewhere, and we camped, but some little asshole, literally little asshole, decided to, counterspell my freaking hut and steal our weapons. So then we followed the tracks to the little place, which led to a stone wall, I guess. And apparently the stone wall was like an illusion, except not really illusion. It was like ballistics gel, but it looked like rock. And we eventually made our way through it. First, I think was Durkar or Reardon. One of them got in first.
I found out that it was illusionary.
Yeah, but who?
Faster.
Okay, so I think it was Reardon got through first, and then Durkar went through, and then Valak had Airmail, and Baron followed in at the rear. And we got in there, and we saw these little blue Fey dudes. Oh yeah, Durkar cast like Divine Sense or something, and could see Fey creatures. No, it wasn't Divine Sense. It was a spell. I don't know, whatever. Could see little Fey creatures in there. So we knew we could get through. So he started trying to get through and was not succeeding. And then Reardon got through, and then we all followed. And nobody could talk to them, or maybe somebody could talk. I don't know. They were trying to figure out stuff, and Durkar mentioned that to Valakad that the weapons were over there because Valakad couldn't see shit, even with a light spell of lights up. So when Durkar said, "Hey, look, Valakad, look, there's our weapons," Valakad said, "Oh, really? So this is how we're going to do this." So I opened up my mind and used my mind link towards these tiny little creatures and said something along the lines of, "Oh, you found our weapons. We were looking for those. We're going to take those. And in turn, we will leave something for you." And then they started bowing at me and apparently thinking I'm some sort of deity. So I left because I'm such a nice person, I left a sleep tincture for them to enjoy. And Durkar has a new spell that allows him to cast magical mushrooms that if you eat one, you're filled. And if you eat more than one, you might have hallucinations. So we left them some mushrooms and some sleep tincture so that they'll have hallucinations and be asleep for quite a long time because these creatures are like a 16th my size. And yeah, a full sleep tincture keeps me asleep for 8 hours. So even half for each of them is not our problem. So we exited and we made it back to camp, I think, and then I think we're about to head out.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good to me. I feel like that was a lot to happen, or not much to happen in the whole session. Did we cut it short or start really late or something?
Um, yeah, I think we started late, first and foremost, and then I think we had like a 40-minute break in the middle. Um, and then we might have done a little RP in Austin before we left, but I forget exactly what happened there.
I'm good with that recap.
Did you see that they added new measurements?
Oh, it's gonna help me
Freaking awesome.
so bad. It's gonna help so good.
Yeah, no more spell templates.
This is my new breath dialogue. I'm using the curved cone because that's what it should be instead of a flat face.
We can do strobe lights.
Actually, I hate to say it, but technically it is a straight flat cone.
Never. Never flat. Because the point in front of you always going to protrude more than the ones on the sides. It's the way of geometry.
That's not true in D&D case.
It's mine. And it just looks better than the flat edge.
Well, that's fine as long as I can argue with your distinction of whether or not something is affected by the cone. Okay,
Give the dog a brownie.
no, I don't want to kill her.
I didn't say it had to be chocolate.
A Fey brownie.
I wasn't aware there was any other kind of brownie. I mean, brownies are chocolate.
I don't think in D&D that there's brownies, but like in Tolkien lore, brownies and sprites and that kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, they are in D&D.
We went 33.4 miles.
Okay, so okay, the car took off and now it's back again. I don't know. It's weird.
Start, start using a flashlight and just turn it on and off like you're taking pictures.
I'm tempted. Um. Okay, so you guys are picking up at the after a long rest. You guys have recently dealt with the quicklings. Your items have been you have reclaimed your items, returned to camp, and are um, getting ready to head out after like a this 2 hour side trip to get your items, basically. So it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. What you guys want to do?
Continue on to, is it Croton? Where we're going?
Corton.
Curtin?
Okay. Whoever's leading, give me a survival check.
I'll take up the rear because I'm on my mount. So maybe they'll look at me and forget everybody else and get in trouble.
Mm. Okay, so either Aramil or Valakad, give me a survival check. Because apparently one of
I'll,
you is leading.
I'll assist from my height advantage, though.
Sure, why not?
I'm gonna say Baron would probably assist because he knows these woods, but
Okay, Baron will assist
since
then.
he's not really. Um. Okay, I guess if nobody else wants to, yeah, sure. Valakad will attempt to, find the right way in woods
Well,
on land.
it is a road, so the DC isn't very high.
I don't know what a road is. I know what rivers are.
Hmm. So do I need to change
Like I said,
do I need to change the color of that road then, or the path that you're going following?
I mean, it looks blue to me as a player, but if it was really blue, then I might know where I was going.
Okay. Luckily, that's high enough.
Probably
Uh,
only because of the guidance.
8 makes it a little tough, yeah, but um, I mean, it is a road, and you've been following the roads for a while now. It's a land river. Okay, do you guys bother stopping for breakfast or lunch?
Not typically, so
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Um, you make your way south along the road. Um, you pass the point where you, fairly early in your travels this morning, you pass the point where you saw the creepy looking doll last time. Um, but it is no longer there. You continue heading southwest along the road. Um, Day goes by. It's quiet. It's relatively warm. I mean, comfortable. Yeah, not really a whole lot to say about today. Went by pretty quick. Um,
Follow the blue brick road.
as the sun begins to set, what are you guys doing?
Probably look for a nice little area that's, at least 10 foot by 10 foot.
Okay. Um, you find yourself a small clearing. Well, let me rephrase that. Give me a survival check real quick, Valakat, since you are doing the looking on this.
Looks around. Looks around. Durkar, you want to help?
Sure.
Yeah, with that height advantage that you were talking about earlier. Okay, you kind of take a few minutes to wander one side of the road and then the other. Just, 20, 30 feet off the road just to see what you can see. Um, and as you're going off the north side, you kind of stumble through like a hedge of bushes, and there's a small, almost pristine clearing there for you.
Clearing off that way.
Woohoo.
Which you get to camping for the night if you want.
First, I think I'm gonna go look for. Hmm, Let's spend 3 hours looking for sleep herbs.
Okay. Um, Give me another survival check.
Finally, something good. Not that 15 was bad, but 22 is so much better.
Okay. Oh wait, you're looking for potions or ingredients, aren't you?
Yep.
I'm all trying to figure out potions. Ingredients. Was it 22? You said 3 hours.
Yep.
Okay, you find enough for 4.
In my last hour, I will try and make a regular potion of healing.
Okay, go and give me a roll. Oh, yes, you succeed, and it actually you create 2 healing potions instead of just one. You're able to stretch the ingredients enough to make a second.
Awesome sauce. I'm going to keep one of them, and I'm going to give the other one to Baron.
Okay. Did a handout just pop up for you, Valican?
Sorry, what?
Did a handout just pop up for you?
Nope.
By any chance, did you already have the potion handout open?
Nope.
Okay, never mind
Did I open it?
then. Huh?
Did I open it?
No. Just I made a couple of changes, and when I saved it, it said it shared it with you. I'm like,
Oh, gotcha.
okay,
Probably just shared it to the handout, but didn't pop it up.
gotcha. Okay, so um, Valcat has done his or their um nightly stuff. Durkar and Airmill, is there anything you'd like to do for the evening?
No, nothing special.
I'll spend a couple hours hunting.
Okay, give me a survival check. You said 2 hours?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. Which direction are you going? Dracar?
Let's go toward the mountain range if I could see it. So south, I guess.
Okay. You head up into the mountains. Um, well, I guess in this case it would be the foothills. Um, the terrain gets rockier and rockier. You do see a number of smaller critters like um, crap. I can't think of anything that lives in the mountains. Rabbits?
Well,
Rabbits live in
you
the
got
mountains?
um, you got coons killing rabbits. You got mountain lions, bears,
I was thinking small critters like raccoons.
porcupines,
Okay.
wombats, depending on where you
You
are.
see some raccoons and some porcupines, a couple skunks. Um, you can see a few flying snakes. After about an hour and a half, you do. Well, no, let me research. Uh, little under an hour, I should say. You come across a herd of um, God, my mind is shot tonight. Dad, what is that mountain goat thing that's
Bighorn sheep.
yeah, it's bighorn sheep. Thank you. Um thank you, Dad.
You're very welcome, my son.
You run into a herd of bighorn sheep. You see them um uh freely hopping from rock to rock, and they don't seem to pay you any mind.
Say that again.
They don't seem to pay you any mind.
All right, let's do some javelining. See what I can hit.
Okay, give me a couple shots. Well, as many as you want to throw this.
How big was it?
I see what you're saying.
The bighorn sheep, they're pretty big.
There we go. That's all I'll do.
And you're trying to bring down how many?
Two, but I noticed that one would miss, so I threw it
Okay.
out.
Give me a second. Okay, go ahead and roll me damage for those real quick. Okay, as you throw the javelins, they strike home, um, bringing both of the bighorn sheeps to the ground. However, when you approach them, they are not dead. They are, um, well, basically bleeding out.
I will take the short sword that I have, which I have put that on my belt now, just because of these little twerts. So now I'm carrying that on my belt, and I'll put them out of their misery.
Okay. You
Uh,
now
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you now have two bighorn sheep that you can deal with at your leisure.
What do I see around me? Could I hang these anywhere near, or is it just too rocky?
Um, yeah, you could, loop a rope up over a crag in the rock and tie one into um legs.
Okay, I'm gonna hang them upside down so they can finish bleeding out.
Okay.
Then when that's done, I'll throw them on my lizard and take them back to camp.
Okay. What is the speed of your lizard?
What is the what?
What is the speed of your lizard?
30.
Really?
Yeah. I'll be walking next to it, so you don't have to count my weight towards its encumbrance because it shouldn't be.
Wow, it's only 30. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same as I walk, so it works.
I wasn't worried about encumbrance. Um, okay. You make your way back to camp with two um bled bighorn sheep.
When I get there, I'll skin them and chop them up and give the lizard half of one full sheep.
Okay, he makes pretty quick work of it.
And then we'll cook and dry salt the remaining sheep and a half. I don't know how many meals that's gonna make, but fresh meat.
Sheep and a half. That's wow. That's a lot of meat. Um, That roughly 140 pounds of meat each. So you gave half of one to the riding lizards. That's
70.
So you have 210 pounds of meat left, minus whatever we eat tonight.
And then minus also once you dry meat, it doesn't weigh as much.
That's true as well.
see, there are 5 people in your party.
Yeah. I would say with fresh meat, I probably would have 3 portions tonight, just because we haven't had fresh meat in a while, and I'm a big lizard. D&D, where you can stump your DM with calculations on how much meat an animal will make.
Careful, lest he gives you a stomach ache tomorrow morning.
Well, I was just doing like a narration thing, letting him calculate and being funny at the same time.
Okay, so let's go with food for the entire party for 25 days. If you're drying it all. And that's assuming you guys are eating pretty heavily tonight.
So that's 25 rations times all 5 of us.
Yes.
Holy
Divvy
crap.
it up. At 25 rations, everybody.
Well, it actually came out to 42 each. But I've decided not to give you that much because that's a lot.
That is a lot. Just adding that 25 has made me overcumbered, so I'm going to have to do something here.
Leave some behind.
Yeah, I mean, eat some more in the morning, leave some behind, yeah. We don't have a dimensional pocket, so that sucks.
You realize that rations are built in this game to 1 per day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. We can pack some onto the mount, too. Woohoo. Pack animal.
Okay, so that's all taken care of. Dirkar, you have 2 hours left when you return. Is there anything else you want to do? Well, I guess you're cleaning, cooking, and smoking, so never mind.
Yeah, that would have taken up all the time.
Okay, so your night is over. Now what? Um,
Were we or as we're going to head to bed,
Okay.
Valakad will cast Tiny Hut.
Okay. So you make the tiny hut. Everyone crawls inside. It's a little cozy.
We will call it 70 degrees and humid.
Yay. Oh, I also want to turn the I want to attempt to turn the stomachs and or whatnot into more water skins. Not 100% sure how you do that, but
Does your character have any kind of skills with that?
nope.
Leatherworking, or are you proficient in survival?
Yes.
Okay, give me another survival roll. You start to try and you do what you think would work, but it yeah, when you wake up in the morning they just reek like they're rotting from the inside. Okay, who's doing watches? Is anyone doing watches?
I'll do first watch. This will be fun.
Reardon will do watch number 2 and 3.
Okay, last watch.
I
Boom.
guess Bairn.
Okay. Dirkar, go and give me a perception check.
No modifiers.
Okay. Um, where do you take your watch, Dirkar? Do you do it from inside the um hut or bubble,
Yeah,
or
I'll do it from inside the bubble.
okay? And the Alcat is bubble invisible, opaque.
On the outside it'll be opaque and green. On the inside it will be invisible.
Okay. Um. Okay. You keep an eye out. Um. A couple times during the night, you kind of see some shadows off in the distance. You're not really sure if it was just movement of branches or maybe some animal hiding off in the distance, or even possibly an intruder. Um, do you want to do anything with that?
No, I'll just keep an eye on. I'll clock the movements, but I'll just keep an eye on it. If they get any closer, then we'll see what happens.
Okay. You see that twice during the night. Um, Shadows in the distance. Um, Roughly same location. Um, yeah. And then your watch ends uh, uneventfully.
I'll go wake up Aramel, right?
Reardon.
I'll go wake up Reardon and tell him I've seen some shadows under the trees in that location. Non-threatening, but they're there.
He will thank you and watch that location.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Hey, another 14. Okay. Okay, it seems like a relatively quiet night. Um, there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary going on. Um, Reardon, right? Reardon
Yep.
watches the location of the shadows, sees the number of shadows, the same as Durkar. Um, Again, they don't seem to be particularly hostile or, well, let me rephrase that. They don't seem to be particularly um, intrusive, whatever they are. Um, Not even really sure what they are, to be honest. But they don't seem to move through the evening. Or through the watch. Um, where is uh
Inside.
he's inside as well?
Yep.
Okay. God, I cannot remember these characters' names.
Rudin.
Yes, I remember that after I said that, but that's not the point. Reardon. Um, okay, at one point, there's a loud flapping of wings sound. Um, it comes out of nowhere, and it only lasts for maybe 20 seconds, and then it disappears. Um, there was no indication of where it came from or what was making the noise. It was just suddenly there and then suddenly gone. And then Reardon's watch comes to an end. Hmm.
And I guess he will go wake up Baron and explain all that to Baron.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to RP against yourself?
I mean, I could, but I have. But no.
Okay. Um, Give me a perception check with Baron. I was going to laugh if it was another 14. But sadly not. Um, let's see. As the rest of the party goes off to bed, where is Baron taking his watch? Is he going to stay inside too?
I would imagine.
Okay.
I don't know. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, he starts out his watch, um, keeping an eye on the shadows, which still
Or
haven't,
mesmerizing.
must be, and making sure to listen for the flapping wings. And before very long, he is asleep. Okay, everyone give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Not one. I don't nothing.
Aramil? Okay. Well, Durkar definitely doesn't wake up. Um. Hmm. Seems like Valakad's first to wake up, but Valakad and I have something else we need to do before he can wake up, or they can wake up. Um. Valakad, do you want to do that in public or private?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. Because before now we were doing them all in private, but I am perfectly okay with public dreams. Give me 2 seconds here. I have to figure out what dream this is. Okay. Valakad, as you lay down to sleep, you're used to taking the tincture to sleep, so at first you kind of wrestle without that medicinal sleep aid, and it's you find yourself kind of staring off into um, the night sky, and then listening to the snoring of your fellow party members and um, your fellow Valkyries. Um, every now and then you'll kind of glance over and check to make sure that Durkar didn't fall asleep. Mm. After what feels like hours, you do finally start to drift off yourself. And as sleep takes you, you find yourself overlooking um, at the top of a tall hill, overlooking a small town. Um, by the position of the sun, you feel like you're looking east. And you see is this small town is kind of um, surrounded by a cloud of black. It's not really it's not covering the town. It's just kind of ringed by it. And on the east side, sorry, on the south side, there's um, a small cluster of the 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 smoke apart from the ring, and you watch as the smoke goes from black to dark gray to gray, light gray, and eventually white. And you watch as it slowly draws into the separated, the ring slowly draws into the separated location, and then it slowly begins to work its way west. And then you hear behind you um, almost a whisper. It almost sounds like the waves of the ocean at the same time. You, you hear behind you, that was nicely done. Glad to know I haven't chose a um, let's see. Glad I haven't chose one filled with bloodlust as as my chosen. I didn't. I said that. I wasn't muted when I said all that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Are you gonna say anything or do anything?
Sorry, I was just typing. Um,
Oh, okay.
do I recognize the town?
Um, you get the feeling it's probably Austin.
Okay. Um, then I guess as a response in my sleep, I will say violence is only the answer if it is absolutely necessary.
And you kind of feel more than hear a soft chuckle, and the image that you standing on the hill, on at the top of this hill, you don't actually move, but the image that you're looking at suddenly rotates, and you're looking down at another town. This one you believe to be to the west. And in this town, you see um, the entire town is covered by um, a gray fog or smoke, and in it you can see two distinct points of black smoke. And again, the voice over your shoulder says, violence may not always be required, but sometimes it is justified. And then suddenly you're standing in the middle of this town. Your sight just kind of zooms in, and you're standing in the middle of some, like a town square, and you have buildings um, surrounding you, but they look very small, almost toy-like. And you watch as your party members gather their things to continue your journey. And you and your party members, the, the other Valkyries, head out the gate, and you're walking along the path for several minutes when one of your fellow Valkyries speaks up and says, "Where are we going?" And as you strain to remember your destination, the environment around you changes rapidly from um, a barren, rock strewn sand bowl in the valley between a ring of mountains. Um, a infernally hot, um, again barren, burnt, um, crater of a smoking volcano. The wide open, um, wide open oceans of well, the the water seems to flash between several different locations when you're seeing the oceans. And the fourth location is the top of um, an incredibly high mountain range, so tall that you literally have trouble breathing. And all you can see around you are clouds. And that's when you wake up. You look around to see that Baron is asleep and nobody else is on watch.
Can I tell about what time it is? Or rather, I guess I should say, is my tiny hut still up?
It is.
Then I will just continue with the watch until it fades, and I will then wake everybody up.
Okay. Okay. Um, very shortly after, probably 10 or 15 minutes, um, your hut collapses. Just kind of fades out. And the little bit of dew that's formed on top of it just kind of sprinkles down and sprinkles your party members. And yeah, it is morning. Your 15-minute watch will now without a hitch.
Woohoo! All right, then I will go wake up Airmel, and then Reardon, and then Baron, and then Durkar.
Okay.
Of course, I'll debate in my head and decide not to throw darts at Durkar, but
That's very kind of you.
I actually completed a watch.
You did. Okay. So, you guys are awake. What do you wish to do?
Well, Blizzard is probably going to eat another 400 pounds of meat.
Well, we might as well. We got plenty of it. I'll give some more to my mount as well. It's all the excess we're not gonna be able to carry.
You know that that's only a spirit, right? It's not an actual animal.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Okay, so the riding lizard gets a whole bunch of food. It's ready to burst. Okay, so don't everyone talk at once. Or I guess go ahead and talk all at once.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to push a button. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you guys have just finished a long rest.
Mm-hmm. So we can push the little button. Not that it matters much.
Yeah.
Matters so very much to me.
Because your numbers are not going to change at all.
No, my numbers changed. I casted a spell last night.
Did you?
You did?
Is that why you couldn't sleep?
No, I didn't sleep because every so often I've been reminded that every so often I should not take the tincture just in case Estra would like to speak. And last night she spoke, but not quite sure what it means at the moment. When I figure out what it means, I will let you know.
Did you feel like this was a waking dream, or did, did it feel like you were actually there and you become overwhelmed by it?
I feel like it is one of many possibilities of something that may come. But until I saw Austin, or I think it was Austin, and then I saw another town that I've never seen before. So if we ever come up on that town, then I will possibly know, hopefully, a little more and might be able to elaborate on what it was that I saw.
So, meantime, you're trying to understand it enough, process it enough to know what it means or doesn't mean.
Yeah, I think that sums it up
You know,
pretty well.
I have a little problem with that sort of a thing because I may be dreaming, and or at least I recall that I was dreaming, and yet within a very short time after waking, I can't remember what it was all about.
Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I remember a lot of my dreams. Some of them hit hard and fast, and I forget them. Others are very vivid, and they stay with me.
Valakad, give me a Constitution saving throw. You are not exhausted after that.
Well, damn. Holy damn.
You wanted to make very sure you got your rest last night, apparently.
All right, so we off to see this wizard now, or whatever. Follow Blue Brick Road.
We shall continue. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well,
Did I just hear that that you decided the road is blue and not yellow?
The lines on the map are blue, so it's got to be blue. And I like oceans and seas and water and all that, so it's got to be blue.
You gotta push the button when you say things, Dad.
Wasn't I pushing the button?
Not that time.
Oh, I thought I was.
You said when you asked the question, but not when you responded.
Oh,
That's okay.
okay. I just said that makes more sense.
Julio.
Okay, so you head out. Whoever's leading the charge will go ahead and give me a survival check.
I'll take the lead again.
Sweetness. Baron will help. Not that you need it, but Baron is trying to help.
Okay. You guys head out for the morning. Um, you continue heading southwest along the road. Um, Durkar is with Durkar leading. He seems to have a little extra pep in his step today, and moving a little faster than normal.
Must be all that meat.
It must be. Um, he's moving a little faster than normal. Seems to be getting the job done. Um, you guys stopping for lunch?
No, I don't need to.
Okay. Let's say get to about there. Um, you get through. Um, Majority days, it's a quiet day. There's not really a whole lot going on. Sometime just after you guys would normally take a lunch break, um, there is a wagon that comes by, heading north on the road. You guys want to do anything with it or just let it go?
I feel like after the last wagon that we saw, Baron will probably, as the wagon gets close, do a divine sense. He doesn't have divine sense, but he has something along that line.
Detect evil. Oh no, you have a feature that lets you do it. Eyes of the Grave or something like that.
Yep, it's a great.
Okay, give me just a second here. Okay, sorry about that. Um, okay. As far as you can tell, there doesn't seem to be any undead within the range of this ability.
That'll make him happy.
Okay, does that mean you just let him go by, or
Valked will say, "Hey, how you guys doing? Are do they look dwarven, halfling,
yes, there is
or
a the driver appears to be um a dwarven male on the older side. The passenger is a um, halfling female, probably late 30s, and you can hear others moving around in the back of the wagon, but can't see them because it is covered.
run?" As they come up, Valked will move off to the side of the path and wave at the dwarf and say in dwarven, "Well met."
Dwarf just kind of looks at you, kind of squints at you, and looks you up and down, confused. The halfling,
I give a very wide smile.
the halfling woman, kind of waves at you and just gives you a confused look, but she's got like half a smile on her face.
And they're heading to the north, right?
Yeah, they're headed towards Alston.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were on. So this is before we got to the path that's going to Corden.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Um. Then I'm at a loss. Um. Yeah, I'll just smile and say, "Well met," and then I will say, "Have a great trip. Watch out for the little people." And look over at the halfling and say, "Smaller than you, blue skin. They like to take weapons."
Okay. The dwarf will just kind of um, the dwarf will look at you for a moment, or continue watching you for a moment, and eventually he'll just kind of start laughing. I mean, like a real laugh. And then the halfling woman or girl will just her look of confusion at you will just deepen, and she looks between the laughing dwarf and you, and just yeah, she has no idea what's going on, and no idea what you're talking about. But the dwarf found something you said was funny. But neither one of them actually really said anything to you.
And I'll bid them adieu and say, "Have a nice trip."
Okay.
And then I'll let the golden lizard know what all transpired right then.
By any chance, do any of you look back at the wagon as it goes past?
Sure,
Okay.
since you mention it.
You see four little heads poking out the back, watching you as it goes. Like childlike kids.
I'll wave and smile.
All you get back is a whole lot of giggles. And of course, they hide from you. And then 2 seconds later, they peek out again. Because, they're kids. And you're probably the most exciting thing that's happened to them since they started this journey. Okay, so you have the smell encounter with the wagon. Nothing too exciting to write home about. And you have Durkar charging ahead, trying to get to your destination. Um, you make really good time for the day, and get a little further than your typical distance. Um, as the sun starts to set, what are you guys doing?
We'll start looking for a place to lay low.
Typically, a place that will fit a 10-foot by 10-foot, wait, 10-foot radius. Yeah, that one. Tent. Magical tent.
Dome.
Dum dum dum. Sorry,
Wow.
I couldn't resist.
Just wow. Okay, give me a survival check, Mr. Durkar, since you were the one looking.
I will help because I want to make sure that it has the area that we need.
Gotcha. Good thing you helped. Oi. Okay, you find a decent place. It's not perfect. You might mangle a few bushes with your dome, but life's like that. Um,
I'm not a druid or a furbog, so oh well.
okay, so you guys set up camp. Um, anything you want to do before bedding down for the night?
I'm just gonna go with general maintenance of my gear.
Okay. You're blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a blacksmithing roll.
What do you want me to use?
You pick. What did you use?
Strength,
Okay.
because it's my biggest asset. So
Okay. Just check. Um. Yeah. Your maintenance goes well. Um. You don't know that your sword's ever been so sharp. That short sword you're carrying around is was definitely improved for its receiving your maintenance. Um. Not sure where you got it, but most of the things you've been fighting have not been having the best of gear. So, um, the short sword is probably definitely improved by your maintenance. You find a couple of fraying leather cord on your armor that you're able to replace for it fairly easily. Um, able to pop out and replace a few of the chinks in your um, you have chainmail, right?
yep.
Yeah, in your chainmail. Um, yeah, everything's looking better. Aramil, do you have anything you want to do? I'll take that as a no. Valakad.
Um, I will spend 2 hours going out and looking for healing herbs.
Healing herbs? Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check. Mm.
Woohoo!
Um,
I need a feat that increases my survival.
just increasing your wisdom would help. Or getting
Thinking like the skilled feat, proficiency in survival.
yeah, that would help. Let's see. There's not a whole lot you find in 2 hours, I'm afraid.
Crappy area.
Yeah.
Um, aren't then when I get back, pissed off at the herbage, I will look over at the golden lizard and go, all right, you want some more?
More what?
Dwarven teaching?
Sure, let's work on it. I would have figured that we've been working on it every night. But ow.
Gotta specify it so that White can get the successes in so that you can actually add it.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, if I'm spending 3 or 4 hours doing other stuff, I can't really do the teaching. So
Are you keeping track of how many hours you have, Durkar?
Sorry, I had a foot cramp. What was that?
Are you keeping track of how many successes or whatever you have for this?
Oh no, was I supposed to?
We've only done it once, and he had one success.
Where would I keep a log of that?
Just like in one of your bio boxes here that you have that you're not using for anything else.
Okay, so we got what, 1 hour?
Yeah, one success. Um, and you're working on this for another 2 hours. Is that what you said? Tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Valcad, give me two straight wisdom checks, and um, Durkar, give me two intelligence checks. Ouch.
And
Yeah,
Um,
don't
that's what I
fall
was
in.
thinking. Stupid herbage. Stupid golden lizard.
um, I'm sorry. With a 5, I can't in good conscience give you a pass.
Oh, no worries.
Not unless you know it was matched with a nat 20 or something. So I'm gonna say you try as you might, you can't seem to get down any of the lessons that um, Valcad's trying to teach, and you guys finish frustrated with the Dwarven language.
The end of that, I'm going to stop.
You're going to what?
I'm gonna go just breathe in, breathe out. Woosa. Get everybody bunched up. Kneel down, close my eyes, and think of Estra, and just go. Nothing is going right tonight. And cast the tiny hut. Calm down, and get myself in a nice 70-degree, very humid tent that makes me think of the water. And again, it will be, opaque, uh, greenish shrubbery look on the outside and invisible looking out.
Okay,
And as I do that, I will take my tincture and pass the fuck out.
that's what I was about to ask. Good. Okay. So, who's taking watches? Valcad just knocked themselves out. So,
I'll take first watch again. Out of being so frustrated from not being able to learn anything new today, I just can't fall asleep.
okay, go ahead and
Watch you take an 8. Rudin will take second and third again.
okay. Durkar, give me perception check, please. Okay. Okay, are you watching from inside the dome or are you leaving it?
Yep, still on the inside.
Okay. Um, about 45 minutes into your watch, it starts to sprinkle. Um, and before the end of your watch, it's the rain kind of um, it just becomes this steady, drenching, soaking rain. It's not really coming down very hard. It's very steady, and it's just like these great big raindrops. So it just drenches whatever it's pouring on. Um, Other than that, it's quiet watch. Nothing terribly interesting, and it passes without incident.
Woohoo! All right, I'll wake up. My relief. Mirador.
Reardon.
That one!
He will get up and ask you how it went.
Nothing to report.
Just to add a little something, I think that he is going to stay inside because it's raining. And he's going to stick his arms outside and let them fill up in a cup, and then he's going to pull them back in and drink,
Okay.
which is what my picture is showing.
Yeah, I'm zoomed in on it, so it's on the video. Um, Airmill or not Airmill? Reardon, give me a perception check. Hey, he didn't fall asleep. Um, the rain continues through the night, or through Reardon's watch. Um, there doesn't appear to be anything out in the wilderness, out stalking the party, or um, spying on the camp. At least from what Reardon can see in um, the rain and the night. Um, the end of his watch comes uneventful as well.
He will go tap Airmail's foot.
Yes.
Not sure who I was supposed to wake up, but figured I'd wake up you. It's been quiet, so you got 2 hours left if You good with that?
Sure.
And then he'll go back and get back into his trance.
Okay. Um, Airmail, give me a perception check, please. Okay. Um,
6 and 7 is 13.
right. Afraid that's not quite the way it works. Okay. You begin your watch. The sound of the rain on the dome, the pitter pattering of the drops on the dome, is very relaxing. And before very long, you find yourself drifting off back to sleep. Um, Everyone else, go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage. Okay. Durkar, you wake up, and just as you turn over and kind of stretch a little bit, um, maybe scrub at your face with your hand for a moment or two, and you sit up, and suddenly um, the bubble that you're sitting under disappears, and you and the entire party of the Valkyries just getting drenched.
Do I see any movement outside the bubble? Or where the bubble used to be?
Nothing that can't be explained by water falling from the sky.
Well, go around, wake everybody up, as if the rain wouldn't do that already.
Yeah, they're pretty much waking up anyway.
Get my things together so it doesn't get too soaked.
Too
Put it
late.
under a tree. Oh boy, I'm a I'm a smelly wet lizard.
Yes, everything is drenched. I mean, you pick up your packs and it's just dripping with water.
I'll fiddle with a dart looking at Valakut, wondering if I'll ask him, is the time run out or is it early?
Um,
Time definitely ran out.
all right, then I will say that. I'll say, based on the sun, I would say the spell ran dry at 8 hours exactly.
Damn it.
But how can you tell from the sun if it's raining?
The sun's still. Can I see the sun through the clouds? I feel
Um,
like I could. I always see that light portion.
yeah, you can usually tell where the sun is. I mean, it's not usually exact, but you can usually tell for the most part where it is. At least I usually can, if I care to look.
My time on the sea has allowed me to, uh, you know, we get a lot of storms on the sea, and based on where the light is shining the brightest, which the whole sky might be dark, but that right there looks like it's probably the sun.
I was gonna say you guys woke up late. Only I realized with the water coming or the rain coming down like that, you probably wouldn't wake up late. You would wake up as soon as that bubble went down. So
Have a chance to catch our drenched stuff.
yeah. Okay, so you guys are awake. You're already very, very wet. Um, you guys want to take a break now?
If need be, might as well. I'm good.
I don't know about others, but I could definitely use a soda. So let's take a break. Get drinks, use the restroom, stretch, yell at dogs, pet your cats. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
No, it's kick a cat, not pet your cat.
I am not saying that with Sky in the party. You're liable to get yourself into some trouble if you do. Anyway, I will talk to you guys shortly.
Julio.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, I'm back too.
I never went anywhere.
Reardon will say he's back, and Myrnar will say,
All I heard was a laugh. I heard you try to say something else, but it didn't come through.
but Myrnar will say, I'm never coming back.
Gotcha. I guess we're just waiting on Valakad then.
I guess so. We'll be waiting for a while since he never left.
Mm. Okay, we left with you guys waking up and moving out in the morning, right?
Actually, squishing out.
Yes, everyone is squishing out in the morning. Whoever's gonna lead, give me survival check.
Other one.
Baron will help.
Okay. Um. You head out in the rain. Um. Visibility isn't great, but yeah, it's definitely been. You've definitely seen it worse, and even just within an hour or so of you starting this morning, um, you are all completely drenched to the bone. There's nothing dry on any of you. I take that back, except for Hossy Valakad. Because Valakad does have that waterproof cloak. Um,
Um,
oh my god. Yes. You continue throughout the day. You do pass or come across a group of halflings. There are four of them, and they're huddled under a um, looks like they've pulled out like a tarp or a blanket, and they're kind of holding it over each other or holding it over themselves to um, fend fend off the worst of the water. And they're standing off to the side of the road um, under as much tree canopy as they can, just trying not to be miserable in the rain. It looks like they've um, resolved to wait out the rain rather than travel through it.
Unless anybody says, I'm just gonna keep on going.
I love this weather.
Me too, but that's not the point. Um, you guys just gonna walk by him?
Sorry, there was halflings under a horse on our path.
Under a blanket or a tarp. Um,
Gotcha.
they were off the side of the road, just kind of trying to get out of the worst of the rain and wait it out rather than travel.
Um, I'll stop by their little lean-to and say, "Where are you headed?" And Dwarven.
Um, one of them speaks up again in Dwarven, but his accent is very strange. Um, it's almost like if we were to come across someone speaking Old English, these and thous and what fors and that kind of stuff. The Dwarven he's speaking, it's Old Dwarven. That'll work. Um, when he speaks, he says, let's see if I can do this. Don't lick me. Stop licking me.
But you taste nummy.
Right. Problem is, she comes in, she licks me, and I yell at her, and then I pet her because I feel guilty, which means to her, coming in and licking me is how she gets petted. Huh. So basically, I teach her to lick me when I don't want her to. Shoo. Shoo. Go on, shoo. Um, we strive for home in Corton, having visited and shopped in the clan hall. Uh, what of you? Um, where's thou destination?
Right, they said that they are headed to court.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that for long. By the way.
No worries. Um, I will say we are. Yo utu kuopop duto os yun, which means we are headed there as well.
He kind of looks at your party as Durkar just walks right past him, and some of the others continue to follow, just kind of glancing at them as they pass. And you stop to talk, and they say, which I'm totally gonna drop the accent now because, yeah, um, you're going to continue even in this rain.
This is wonderful weather brought to us by Estra.
He kind of squints up at you, trying to um, keep the rain out of his face. You know, as he has to look up to look at you. Um, he says, "Well, good luck to you. We're not going anywhere until this rain lets up."
I will say, well, not sure what we're exactly doing up there, but hopefully there will be an inn. And if you have need of anything, let us know. We are the Valkyries, and we'll see you when you get up there.
He nods and gives you a small grin. Says, "I'm sure we'll see each other. I'm sure we'll see plenty of each other." And just kind of waves at you as you head out. And the rest of you continue traveling. So, so Valaketa has to kind of jog through the sloshy streets to catch, or sloshy road to catch up.
With the road being pretty much just packed earth, now a muddy mess. Be careful you don't slip and fall.
I feel like surely it can't be as bad as a ship's as water on a ship's floor,
A ship's deck.
especially if I, yeah. But if I do fall, at least I'm not going to fall overboard.
It's worse than that because your feet are getting stuck in the mud and it's hard to walk.
You're right. You're
At
not
least
gonna
I'm not
fall
going to
overboard.
fall overboard.
You're right. There is no overboard here, except for maybe slipping and sliding off the road. But even then, you just end up in a ditch or a tree. Anyway, um, okay. I'm assuming you're not stopping for lunch.
Me, no think so.
Hey, Elva returned. Okay, so you continue on through the day. Um, Fighting with the storm, and it doesn't seem to let up. Um, about the time the sun sets, you suspect you're um probably about 3 to 4 hours outside of Corden. Did you guys want to continue or stay for the night?
Well, it seems to me that assuming there is an inn or something similar where we can get in and be dry, that would be preferable to sleeping another night in this rain. or trying to sleep in the rain.
We don't have to sleep in the rain. Might wake up in the rain, but we definitely don't have to sleep in the rain.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I was just thinking if we went on into town, we'd get some shelter, maybe, but then maybe not.
Yeah, town might be full of racist jerks who just won't accept you guys' money.
I'd prefer to go into town not at nighttime anyway.
You prefer what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Prefer not to go into town at night.
Okay.
Wait for the next day.
Big old tall dragon dude coming in, towering over little 3-foot creatures. Give me shelter. No. Okay. I guess we'll look for a place to camp, preferably with a 10-foot radius around me.
Okay. Um, give me a survival check.
Your card did, and I was helping you. Or you asked for it, but
Uh, okay. Yeah, you find a small hill off the road that seems like it'll um, fulfill your needs. It is slightly elevated, so it does. The water hasn't been soaking into it all day, though it is definitely still wet. Um, but it's like you're not like laying in pools of mud, you know. Um, Other than that, it might be comfortable once you get the hut up. Maybe. So, what are you guys doing once the hut? You know, like I don't know. Are you gonna put the hut up right? Are you going to
oh,
put the hut up right away?
yeah, sure. I'll put the hut up right away. Nice. Sure ain't going out and looking for herbs and this crap. I mean, in this lovely weather that I love, but is going to probably be hard to find things.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna. Uh, excuse me. I'm gonna try wringing some of the water out of my clothes, so at least there's a chance that it'll dry out inside the hut.
We'll put it up to 80 degrees tonight. And as much as I don't want to do it, we will make it dry instead of humid.
Okay. Well, with everything wet like it is, it ends up getting fairly humid anyway. Either that, or the spell is just constantly working to dehumidify the air.
It says the atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside.
I know, but everything your characters are wearing is soaked, at 80 degrees, it's going to start getting the air in there pretty humid anyway, regardless of what it starts out as. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Just that, yeah, this spell is constantly working to dehumidify the air. Anyway, um, yeah, what do you guys want to do? Any hunting or, you know, potion making or anything like that?
I don't know that we need to hunt. I can't hold anymore.
I think we're good. I'm good. I'm just gonna relax.
Okay.
Since I'm holding the fort, I'm not going to try and do the alchemy stuff, but I will offer to try and do 4 hours of dwarven training if a certain somebody wants to learn.
We can do that.
Okay. Give me Valakad 2 wisdom checks and Durkar 2 intelligence checks. Oh,
Eh,
oh god, those are even worse than yesterday. Um,
My rolls are better.
okay, you guys have been going for 2 hours and it's just not working. Durkar cannot get his mouth to move in such a way to make those sounds.
This is poor tutorship. That's what this is. That was great.
Um, that was 2 hours. Do you guys want to continue for another 2 hours?
I have nothing else to do, so I'm good with it.
Okay, give me another 2 checks, each of you.
Ouch.
The nat 20 though.
You both got nat 20s on the same one. That's hilarious. Okay, okay, about halfway through the third hour, um, you cannot seem to make those sounds happen, Durkar. And it's in frustration you start saying some draconian words that are not quite so pleasant. And both you and Valakad realize at the same time that some of the sounds that you're making saying those words are the same sounds you need for the words for Dwarven. So, having figured that out, you suddenly make a giant leap forward in your ability to speak this language, as you can now figure out a way to make the sounds without moving your mouth in the same way that, a human might. Because you can't move your mouth in the same way a human might. Um, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give you successes for tonight due to the nat one or the double nat 20s. So,
Gives me 3.
well, you're working on it.
479.2 to go.
Not quite that many. Okay. Aramel, you doing anything? Oh, you're ringing out your clothing. Though to be honest, I kind of imagine everyone is.
And as I'm doing that, I'm realizing that my fingers and my toes are all wrinkling up.
Yeah.
It's it may be necessary for us to grow things and to drink, but it just really isn't very pleasant to have to be out in this.
To each their own. Okay. Then I guess with that, you guys head off to bed. Who is on watch?
I guess we'll keep it going. I'll go first.
Reardon will take 2 and 3, I guess.
Okay. Um, your car you watch it goes by pretty uneventful. Um, there are times during the night that during a thunder, or rather a lightning strike, um, you'll see a silhouette out in the distance, um, or something like that, and eventually it kind of seems like um, your mind is just kind of playing tricks on you. It's not really anything to worry about. Um, your watch finishes uneventually, and you can wake up your replacement.
I'll do that. I'm gonna wake him up, let him know that nothing happened, nothing occurred. We're good to go.
Who are you waking? I don't
Uh,
remember.
was it Reardon?
Yep. Is it still raining?
Um, it is not. The rain has quit sometime during Durkar's watch, and Now you just have that um, the fresh air that you get after a heavy storm.
I feel like Reardon's gonna go outside and take his watch outside because he's not here and can't say no. Um, and try and stealth while he does it and stick to the tree at the bottom of the hill and watch the dome up at the top.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Give me just a second here. Sorry about that. Um, Reardon, your watch is pretty much uneventful as well. Um, the sky has cleared and stars are shining bright. Um, yeah, it's a beautiful night that passes without incident.
The end of his watch, he will go back up the hill, not seeing the dome, looking around, look over at Bairn, look over at Airmel, look over at Bairn, look over at Valcad, and go tap Airmel's foot.
Yes. Oh,
Been a quiet night again.
well, I scrub at my eyes a bit and yawn, try to wake up. It's that time already, huh?
Yep, it's that time.
Okay.
Okay. Airmill, give me a perception check.
Well, that's better than last night.
It is. Um. Again, it's a crystal clear night. You can hear the critters start to come out of their dens and holes and kind of start to move around in the underbrush. Um, insects have returned. Um, the forest is returning to its normal activity as the chaos of the storm subsides. Um, this, let's see. Um, yeah, your watch completes uneventfully as well. Uh, Nothing to report or alert.
All right, go around, wake everybody, and, and step outside the hut. And see that the sun is shining. And everything's happy in the world. You can hear the birds chirping and all the normal sounds of the forest. And it's just a beautiful day.
It is.
Hmm. And maybe if we get through the day, we'll actually dry out. I grab a ration and we'll get ready to head off and get to town. Maybe actually get a place to sleep inside.
Okay. Um, Everyone else as you wake up and the hut's gone, of course. Um, yeah, rain is gone. The sun is shining. Birds are chirping. It's like an idyllic Disney day.
There's a bluebird on my shoulder.
Are you making fun of me?
Oh,
No, making fun of. I'm not making fun of anybody. Damn it! Almost got me to.
I almost got you to admit you're making fun of me, which has
I
consequences.
would never make fun of my DM. Damn it!
Uh, huh.
And his comments about Disney.
Hmm. So, I'm assuming you guys get your things together and head out.
Yeah. And as we start heading out, I'm really enjoying the day, and I start off Yeah, zippity doo dah, zippity a.
Hey, don't get me
My,
copyrighted.
all right.
Actually, that's old enough. I probably wouldn't get copyrighted off it, but still.
Yeah, that's from the 30s. Yeah, nearly 100 years ago. But whatever.
The thing is, you sing well enough that I might actually get copyrighted on that if it is copyrighted.
You
I
think?
mean, I mean by Disney. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I wonder who really owns that.
I don't know. But you guys head out. Whoever is leading gives me a survival check, please. I'm assuming Baron is helping because
Baron is definitely helping.
he is such a helpful person. Okay, well, 16 is pretty good. Um, you make your way into Corton. About takes about 3 hours to get there. So it's approximately what 11 ish. You come up to what is actually a walled city or walled town, um, village. Actually, it's pretty small. The wall stands about 12 feet tall, and it is
They're
guarded.
serious.
They are, um, and there are two guards at the gate, both wearing um, heavy plate mail and holding um, shield and spears. Which, considering the size of the wielder, the spears look very, very long. Look like long spears, only they're just basic spears. They are halflings, if I didn't mention that. And the armor looks like it's got a um, kind of a greenish tinge to it, and on the breastplates they have the Corton coat of arms, which is a um, it's two swords crossing a shield over um, a doe laying down on a green field. The background is green because the armor has a green tinge to it.
All right, you said two swords crossing over a shield,
Yeah, two swords crossing over a shield over
which
top.
is
What's that?
like over the top, like uh
In front of. Like,
shields up top there, or shields like down over the middle of the dough. I don't know why I'm in red, but
okay, that's a really, really bad shield. But you got the swords cross like that over the shield, and then you got the dough laying in the ground down here.
Cool. Perfect.
That's a really, really awful shield. Just FYI.
All good. I was just trying to figure out if the shield was over the dough, like uh, the dough was behind the shield, or if it was over the top, like down. So
I understand. Poor description on my part.
no, no, it was over. It was just there's two overs, so I wasn't sure.
Okay. If the halflings stop you as you approach, and does anyone in the party speak halfling?
Not I.
Not I, but since I'm in the leading this little party, I would just go up and ask in common, go up to the guards. Says, I'm looking for the Strong Force family. See if they understand me or not.
One of the guards does. He kind of hesitates and looks at the other guard and back at you. Says, "And what is your business?"
Been sent on an errand from Weapon Master Rothrick to return a family heirlooms.
The soldier kind of looks at his other the other soldier and then back at you again, and then he opens this little door in the gate. It's like 3 feet tall. It's basically enough for him to duck his head through and talk. And he has a short conversation in halfling.
I was imagining in my head walking up to the gate still on my lizard. So I'm like extremely tall.
Yeah, you're towering above this guy. Um,
And speaking of Disney copyrights, this dude's like an Oompa Loompa looking through a tiny door.
Right.
oh boy. Um, he will have a short conversation in halfling, and then come back out, closing the door behind him. And he looks back up at you and thinks for a moment, and then in common he says, um, "If you would give us a moment, um, I'm sending a runner to the Strong Force family. They will reply in return whether or not they are willing to see visitors. Um, Other than that, you are welcoming Corton so long as you." He kind of arches his neck and kind of looks back down the line of people in the party and says, "As long as you behave yourselves and let me rephrase that. As long as you behave respectfully and don't cause any further issues."
I'll
The
nod and say, as you say.
the inn or tavern. At this point, there's a loud clank in the door, and it starts to slowly creak open. The inn in town, well, your sized inn, is um, the Liar's Liar, and it's the Liar's Liar, and you're welcome to seek accommodations there, unless you have arrangements elsewhere already. Uh, you can find the inn by simply following the road straight ahead of you. It'll lead straight to the middle of town.
Very well, I'll be guided by you. I'll hitch the lizard on the outside of town.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll just dismiss it. Never mind.
Very good, Sky. Thank you. It's actually apostrophe between the R and the S, but other than that, yes.
Cool.
So I'll dismiss my ride and I'll say, when the runner returns, we'll be there awaiting word.
Understood.
Then we'll head on down the lane.
Okay.
Do I recognize this town?
Um,
From my dream?
at first, it seems a little familiar because all the buildings as you walk into town they're short, and they're built for people that are 3 feet tall instead of people that are 6 feet tall. But as you make your way into the center of town, the town square, and you look around, it damn if it doesn't look exactly like your dream.
Oh, no perception check? Darn it.
Nope, it is too striking of a resemblance to not notice it immediately off of passive perception. As you make your way to the middle of town, um, you're at the main square.
Are the shop signs in common so we can read them, or are they all in halfling?
Um, most of them are just in halfling. Occasionally, you do see one that is in um, dwarvish or common as well. And there's probably only like one or two that's in all three. Um, okay. On the far side of the um, town square, there is a sign that says "The Liar's Liar." It does have um, a liar, go figure, on the wooden shingle, and it is one of the only full-size buildings you can see in the town. There are one or two others in town, but which are very obvious considering most of the other buildings in town are half the size. So, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna go up to the liar and have a seat in the common area. Order a mug.
Okay. Um, dwarven female comes out, kind of as she's approaching you. She there's kind of a hitch in her step, and she kind of hesitates for a second, and continues to approach you slower. And she steps or stays back from you by, I don't know, a good 5 feet. Um, as she's speaking to you. Um, she first tries to address you in halfling, and when that doesn't get a response, she tries dwarvish.
As she tries Dwarvish, I will look at her and say, Nitmol Lanpu Nebot Nebot. I don't know how to pronounce that. And say, Lucky Golden Lizard, and point at Durkar.
She she looks at you, kind of smiles, and looks at the lizard.
I just start shaking my head.
You start what?
I put my head down and I just start shaking my head.
Uh, let's see how she takes that. Yeah, she just kind of looks at you, smiles a little, looks at the lizard, sees him shaking his head, and just kind of Shakes her own head. Uh,
Well, I'll ask her in common. Do you speak the common tongue?
I can get along.
That will do just fine.
Don't
We're
ask.
waiting.
Don't ask me to teach you anything, though.
I could probably teach you more. We're waiting for a runner from the strong or from the gate guards. So we're just gonna put our feet up and wait for a response. I'll take a mug and a plate.
Well, there you go, answering my other question. And your friends, by chance? Food, drink?
No, they all wanted sewage water.
She kind of stops
I was the
and
one
looks
that
at you for a
before.
second. She thinks for a second and kind of mouths it out again to herself. And she says, I'm thinking that was a joke, but if not, I, I misunderstood you.
Yes, it's a joke for calling me their lucky lizard. Well, that one anyway, and I'll point at Valakai.
Okay.
I don't know if I've taught you Lucky Lizard yet.
Well, didn't you
That
say
might
that you?
be. Oh, I said in Dwarvish.
I don't know what you've taught me yet. I don't know. I thought you repeated it in
That's
common.
probably going to be one of the last ones that I teach you, because after that, I'm gonna probably have to stop once you understand it, the Dwarven language, and I might not be calling you that anymore.
For their own safety. Um,
Yes.
then she kind of glances out the door and up at the sky and she says, how about um, some breakfast meads and breakfast plates?
That'll do just fine. Thank you kindly.
That will work. Thank you.
Okay.
I will nod my head.
Okay, that will be um, 2 silver each.
I got this.
And she goes back to the bar. Um, you can hear her talking to someone in the back, and it gets to the point where it's a little bit gruff. The conversation gets a bit gruff, and she comes out looking exasperated. But you can hear that pots and pans are starting to move around, and things are starting to get cooked in the back.
I'll give her 2 gold and tell her to keep the change.
Well, thank you. And she puts the gold in a purse and sits down meads for everyone at the table.
When we give someone pieces of gold, I always expect that someone is going to pick up at least one of the coins and try to bite it to make sure it is gold.
Well, I've done that
And,
before.
yeah, that just I don't remember seeing that image in one of our games.
I've done it in a couple of them. Especially with the dwarves not trusting you guys. They were testing the gold you gave them. happened both the first time you bought something at Clan Hall and the first time you bought something at Elston. Pretty sure.
I can't say I remember those scenes, but that's all right.
I do remember that from either last session or the time before, but both those times you were missing because of the petri dishes.
Yeah, you were missing because you
Yeah,
weren't feeling well.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it's already starting to get back to the time of the frequent illness.
I don't think it ever slowed down, to be honest.
Well, I think it was some better during the summer, but they started back to school this week, so I
Yay.
think we can expect in a week or so to start it all over again.
Yay. But she returns to the table with your food after an appropriately long period of time. I'm no short order cook, so I couldn't tell you. Um, you guys have these large ham steaks with fried potato slices and um, fried eggs.
Maybe a big slab of bread and jam.
Oh yeah, there's um, a couple loaves of fresh bread brought to the table as well, with jam, of course, and fresh butter.
It sounds like a perfect breakfast.
And Durkar, she put 2 extra eggs on your plate.
I give her a wink.
She kind of she smiles and kind of blushes before she turns and walks away. Um, so I know you guys have literally just gotten here. Trying to imagine this, and it is just so wrong.
A halfling with this big dragon dude.
No, no, she's a dwarf. Still.
But still, she's short. But
Yeah, it's not that short.
Gotta remember, I'm a folk hero. I blend in.
Right. There's only so much blending in you can do when you're literally the only one of your kind.
Well, I mean, blending in doesn't mean like blending into the crowd, but as far as you know, I don't know, blending into the feel of the room, getting along with everybody, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. We've just gotten to Corton. It is 10 o'clock. Do you guys want to keep going? Actually, I don't really want to keep going.
probably be better to get Rudin in here.
Yeah. And I was gonna say it'd be better to have us all here, but Reardon's really the only one we're missing. I am.
But somebody had to choose work over us.
Is it even work? I mean, is he even getting paid for it?
I don't know.
I don't
What
know.
is he doing anyway?